fun begins.
In the year 1973, a man named George Lucas started to write a script which would eventually become Star Wars. He originally shelved this project in favour of his second directorial film, American Graffiti, a coming-of-age comedy film which would be released the same year. However, if he knew the cultural impact that Star Wars would have on the world, I'm sure he would have definitely finished the script sooner. Star Wars has gotten so big, in fact, that fans of the franchise now regularly go to conventions which celebrate the franchise. At these conventions, fans will dress up as their favourite characters, and some even mimic their characters' mannerisms, gestures and voice. This act is called cosplaying. In this documentary, I'm hoping to show you the ins and outs of Star Wars and the fandom that lives within it. I will also try to find out why the fandom loves this particular media franchise so much, and why they devote their lives to it. Star Wars is one of the biggest movie franchises in the world. In 2020, it was worth an estimated $70 billion, making it the fifth highest grossing media franchise of all time. The first film came out in 1977, which made $775.8 million. They originally named it just Star Wars, but later changed it to Star Wars A New Hope, to bring it in line with the titling of its sequel, Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, which came out in 1980. This film made $549 million at the box office. The last film of the originals era came out in 1983 and was called Star Wars Return of the Jedi, which made the least money, earning a mere $475.1 million. This film was the worst received out of the three, as some fans didn't say they didn't like the Ewoks, some didn't like the structure of the film, and some people didn't like the Jedi rocks. However, other fans like it because of those reasons. The main characters in the originals era were Luke Skywalker, played by Mark Hamill, Han Solo, played by Harrison Ford, and Leia Organa, played by the late Carrie Fisher. These three actors led the way for the franchise in the 80s and helped it rise into the popular franchise it is today. The music for the saga was composed by John Williams, who done all of the music for all 9 films of Star Wars. He also done music for other big films in the 80s and 90s, such as Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, Jaws, and many more. George Lucas, who created the franchise, only actually directed 4 Star Wars movies, those being A New Hope, The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. However, George still helped the directors who made the other films of the franchise if they had any questions about the world and lore of the Star Wars universe. These other directors were Irving Kershner, who directed The Empire Strikes Back, Richard Marquand, who directed The Return of the Jedi, Rian Johnson, who directed The Last Jedi, and lastly J.J. Abrams, who directed The Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker. The overall storyline of Star Wars is a story about how an old religion called the Jedi were destroyed by a group of idealists called the Sith, who after decimating their rival's sacred temple, then ruled over the entire Star Wars galaxy for a time often referred to as the Dark Times in the Star Wars universe. The Sith's rule in Star Wars could be compared to Nazi Germany, as the Galactic Empire was a dictatorship based on rigid control of society that dissolved a previous democracy.
To democracy!
And is led by an all-powerful supreme leader. This shows how George Lucas used inspiration from real life to show the audience how Star Wars could be interpreted in real life. However, one of the central themes in Star Wars is the idea that one person in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, can bring down an entire system. This displays how the film examines the way that heroes make a difference by stepping up and doing something hard and sacrificing for the sake of a common goal. A fandom is a subculture composed of fans who love and share a common interest in a media product. Fans can often be interested in even the tiniest of details of objects in their fandom and spend a massive amount of their time with their favourite media franchise. This over-emphatic love for their chosen film, TV show or comic is what differentiates them from casual fans. Some Star Wars fans go to conventions and dress up as characters from the franchise. This is called cosplay. Some fans use this as an escape from reality and feel it is a way to be someone other than themselves. They will even go as far as role-playing as their chosen characters by copying their mannerism, gestures and voice. Cosplaying started becoming popular in the 90s when Japanese anime and manga gained popularity in the US. Star Wars fans then saw this as their opportunity to start dressing up as their favourite characters, such as Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Stormtroopers and many more. There is a group of cosplayers who call themselves the 501st Legion, which is a direct reference from the Clone Wars series. These fans dress up as clone and stormtroopers, but sometimes will put their own spin on their costume to spice it up a bit. Disney even contacted these die-hard fans when they themselves ran out of stormtrooper costumes and needed detailed and accurate recreations of the costumes to use in the finale of their show, The Mandalorian. The main Star Wars convention is called Star Wars Celebration, where fans get together to celebrate the Star Wars franchise. It began in 1999 to celebrate the release of Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. The venue for this specific convention changes every year, with the next one being in Anaheim, California. However, there is a bigger convention called Comic-Con, which is primarily based in San Diego. The San Diego Comic-Con covers most movie franchises, with Star Wars being its biggest seller. Whenever there is a large group of fans, there is almost certainly going to be some disagreements. One of these disagreements is the debate between who shot first in the Mos Eisley Cantina, when Han and a bounty hunter called Greedo are in a sort of Mexican standoff. Many fans think it was Greedo who shot first, with Han evading the shot just in time, which is true in the remastered versions of the film. However, true fans would know that it was actually Han who shot first, as you could see in the first screenings back in 1977. George Lucas changed this because he felt it made Han too villainy, which is a big contrast to his character. In this documentary, I have tried to show the history of the Star Wars universe and explain what fandom is. In addition, I talked about all the different conventions and meetups that Star Wars fans go to celebrate the franchise and meet up with different cosplayers.
Goodbye, old friend. May the Force be with you.